Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle, and today we're going to talk about ventilation. And we have done a previous video on the ventilation box that I built for my lead pouring station. So today we're going to talk about the plastic pouring station. I also have this available to airbrush if I really wanted to do that too, and I will show you how we would do that. So let's go. Okay, so here we go. This is it in all its glory. You see the top there. And all I did was I took an old box spring and I cut it in half, and I used one half as one support structure on one side, and I used the other support structure here on the other side. So all this is the wood from an old box spring. Okay, and then what I did was I put a piece of countertop, just a piece of cheap old countertop, I think it was out of my parents' house, and I put that down on top of those, and it happens to be perfect. I think it was an old island piece of countertop, I'm not sure. So I put that down. Then I constructed the box to be from here all the way up to here and all the way across. And I want to say the dimensions of this thing, let's see, let's get a tape measure out real quick. But I want to say that this is probably about 4 feet long would be my guess. Oh, I knew it was going to do that. I knew she was going to do that to me. Got something to stick it in there. Keep it locked in. There we go. Let's do that. If it'll stay. We're roughly 5 feet long, 60 inches. Okay? So that's how long it is. Deep wise, probably looking at about, I guess, maybe 3 feet would be my guess. I don't know. Let's do it from inside here, actually. It is about 31 inches. About 31. So tough to see there. Hard to show you. So it's about 31 by 5 feet. So 60 inches long. And high, I don't know how high this thing really is. Probably, mind me for a second while I try to measure this. 40 inches high. Okay? So, 40 inches high. What I did was I came up about, well, actually it's probably better just to do it this way. So what I did was I took a piece of plexiglass, 24 inches by 48 inches. See that? Plexiglass there. Added on these little pieces of wood here on the edges. Put this whole thing on a hinge. See that? It's on a big hinge. I got a couple, I think there's 3 hinges in there, 3 heavy duty hinges. And it's all tied together, it's all screwed together, all glued together. So it's not going to come apart. Then I put 2 ropes with some hooks out here. And what I can do is I can take these ropes and I put 2 hooks up in my rafters to be able to hook this thing up. So I can work with it open if I want to. And there's one up here on this side. Okay, so now I just can walk underneath it. I can work with it up if I want, or I could work with it down. So what I did was made it, like I said, on a big swing hinge, Now on the inside here, you'll notice I put a bead of a little bit of like a window not insulation, like a window seal kind of thing. Just a thin roll of it all the way around the outside, down all the way to where the door stops. Then I put these little latches here, and I'll show you why. So if you undo this, put it back down, what I can do is make it a sealed box. I drilled a hole up in there to shove the lock up inside, and it may be that it's a little out of whack, up inside, and then it latches. See that? So now it makes that seal right there on the outside of the box. Same thing with the other side. Push it in, lock it up. Same thing. Okay? So we did that. Sealed the whole box in. Again, simple 2x4 and plywood construction. I think I used maybe like, I don't know, 2 sheets of plywood probably. But you see there's a piece out there, just simple 2x4 construction. And I used the Craig tool there for tapping the screws in, just so that they're not exposed and whatnot, so it didn't look too bad. Then a piece of smaller, like 2x2 back there in the corner, just to seal the box in the corner. And the rest of it's 2x4 all the way down, all the way to the back corner, all the way across. That's actually in the back there, on the back behind those cups is actually a 2x2, just like up top. But 2x2 or 2x4s are on the outsides for that construction. And then I think there's a 2x2 up here as well that I put some lights on. So again, as you can see, I put a light bar inside. And you see that vent right there? That little filter? So what I did, let me unbuckle this so I can show you guys. What I did was I put a piece of filter media in there, made a box so that I could actually filter out what was going outside. So this is a little box I created to take the filter media, and sometimes it gets hung up on the screws. It takes the filter media, just a 12x12x1 filter, and it goes over top of that hole. That goes out the top. Now I need to drop this again because we've got so much stuff in this box now. Comes out here, goes into this big white tube. You see this big white tube? That is a silencer. So we're using a silencer just to dampen the noise, because I wanted the noise inside the box to be minimal, especially when I'm recording YouTube videos and whatnot. Then there is the big metal fan. This is all 6-inch ducting. Okay, fan's right there. It's a big fan. I want to say that fan, don't quote me on this, but I think the CFM of that fan is like close to 400. There it is right there. It is screwed down to the top of this so it doesn't rattle or anything. Comes out of here, goes into the diverter system where we were talking about that in the last video. There is a check valve in here so it can't go backwards. So the air can't come up through the lead and go back into the pouring station. It still goes out. So it only, when the fan's blowing, it blows it open and goes outside. So that's why I have a 6-inch and a 4-inch together, and it goes outside the window in a 6-inch ducted outside vent hole. Okay? So very important. Now the airflow in this one had to be more than the last one, because it's such a big box, there's a lot of air to move. And I also wanted the ability to, when I'm sitting here pouring, I wanted the ability to be able to keep this door in the front open if I wanted to. But I got plenty of space. You can see right now, I've got plenty of space between the top of here and here. So I've got plenty of room to work. It's just when I'm recording videos that it becomes a little bit more of a pain in the butt. But I've got this nice little arm now that I use for filming, and that will come out and be placed where I need it to be placed, so it actually works out pretty well. But great working space. I wish I had more counter space to work, but I'm very safe. I'm inside, I'm out of the climate, so I'm climate controlled, and it works out beautifully. Now I did build a shelf in the corner there to put my microwave. And there's also another shelf on top of that, just has odds and ends on it. But then I put some small shelving in the back to hold all my colorants. So it works out really well. I also put my vacuum chamber in here, so that can stay in here and everything gets vented out. At some point here, I will be making some modifications. I did put a light bar underneath here. Sometimes it wreaks havoc with the video, but I also ran a little strip of LED lights around the outside, all the way around the outside of the front here, as you can see. And I went all the way around the back corners on the bottom, just to give us a little bit more light. And it seems to help tremendously, especially with the video filming. So that's the whole box in general. I just wanted to show you guys that and give you like a quick video on how this was kind of constructed. And then underneath, I put a bunch of old white cabinets that I had laying around. And I got a bunch of storage down here. So I've got a bunch of cups over there. I've got my griddle there. Usually that goes in one of these. There's another little compressor down there. There's a whole bunch of plastic down there, some dead-on worm plastic and stuff. And then I got some mold sitting here on some big aluminum blocks for cooling. And I keep my vices here, my clamps, both sides. The metal ones are for the griddle. These ones are for just holding the plates together when I'm pouring them, just the injections. So, okay, the last thing I wanted to show you was how to turn this into an airbrushing station. Okay, so we take this piece right here, and what this is constructed of is that project foam board. I put a bottom down, cut the pieces, the dimensions I wanted it, put the back on, and put the two sides on. What you can do is you can take this board, as I try to destroy my shop, and you can set it right inside of the ventilation station. And I'd have to move some cups out of the way and maybe that arm right there, but I can also close the plexiglass door in the front, and now I got a nice little painting booth that I don't have to worry about getting overspray in all my stuff and whatnot. So I usually just close the hood here, and it perfectly kind of lines up with that vent up there, if you noticed. So it'll just go up and out. So I don't do a ton of airbrushing. I'd like to get more into it, but so it can kind of double up as an airbrushing station and as a plastic pouring station. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just like I said, just a quick overview of the ventilation system that I use for plastic pouring. Can also be doubled up and used for airbrushing as well. Works really well, simple, it's small, it's compact. It's not like it's super huge. It's not like I'm taking up, you know, 2 entire rooms. I can really kind of confine most of my stuff to one room. And I will link everything in the description below. Most of the parts that I used to build this box were from Amazon. So I'll link the hose, the ducting hose, the clamps, the sound dampener, the actual fan itself, and I'll try to put the diverter in there and the outside piece that vents down outside the house. So I'll put everything in the description below. Safety is very important. Make sure you have the proper ventilation when you're doing plastic pouring, when you're doing airbrushing, especially lead pouring. We did that in one video already. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go check out my other one on lead pouring station. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, as always, keep on baiting.